In this video, I'm gonna see if I can overheat my Lumix GH5s and G9 cameras. Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto. I'm a photographer and a Lumix ambassador from Helsinki, Finland. And in this video, I'm trying to overheat my Lumix GH5s, the camera that is filming me right now, and my Lumix G9 that is here. I've never had any overheating problems with these cameras before, but lately there's been a lot of talk about some cameras overheating extensively, especially in video recording. So I wanted to test if I can make these cameras, this and the GH5s, overheat if I really try. Both of these cameras, the G9 and the GH5s, can record 10-bit 4K 10-bit 422 internally on the memory card up to 30 frames per second. Which is nothing really that special anymore, but both these camera models are almost 3 years old now. So it's not actually that bad when you think about the age of these cameras or the camera models. The GH5s has no recording limit. It can film continuously as long as there's a battery or some sort of power available and enough space on the memory card. And you can even hot swap the cards while the camera is running. So you can pretty much film indefinitely as long as you just have some sort of power, electricity available for the camera. But the G9 can only film 10 minutes of 4K normally. But my camera has the V-Log-L upgrade or update, and after that the camera can record 30 minutes of 4K. Or to be precise, 29 minutes and 59 seconds. And when I did my test, I restarted the camera immediately after every 30 minutes, so the recording was pretty much continuous. And for this test, I put two 64GB cards in each camera. In my first test, the ambient temperature here in my office was about 27 degrees centigrade. And the GH5s ran continuously until both memory cards were full. And I got just under 2 hours of recording time. Also, the battery was almost flat, but I probably could have had maybe 30 more minutes out of that battery if I had bigger memory cards. And for the G9, the conditions were exactly the same. The ambient temperature was about 27 degrees here in my office, and I let the camera run until both cards were full. However, I had to restart the camera after every 30 minutes because of the recording limit. But in the end, I got the same, pretty much the same result. After both cards were full, I had just under 2 hours of recording time. And almost exactly at the same time, when the second memory card was full, also the battery was pretty much flat. The battery symbol went red. So I guess it's pretty safe to say that neither camera overheats in any normal filming situations or normal ambient temperatures. But I still wanted to torture my GH5s a bit more, and for that I needed higher ambient temperature. But fortunately, there is a sauna in every Finnish home. And I decided to heat up my sauna to about 40 degrees centigrade. And I'm gonna leave my GH5s here to film and see if it overheats in this temperature. And if this 40 degrees doesn't do it, then I guess it's pretty safe to say that it does not overheat in any circumstances. I'm gonna now turn on the camera and turn on the recording and see what happens. I gotta get out of here. It's kind of getting warm in here, but I'm gonna come back after a while and see if the camera is still running. So it's about 40 degrees centigrade here in right now. The temperature back there right now is way too low if you plan to use a sauna for its intended purpose, which is bathing. And for that you would heat it up to anywhere between 70 and 100 degrees centigrade, depending on the type of the sauna and of course depending on how hot you want it. But that kind of temperatures would be way too high for any kind of camera testing, and that's why I wanted to keep the temperature around 40 degrees. Okay, I wasn't paying attention, and after about the first 10 or so minutes the temperature went up to about 50 degrees, and then it went even more up to about 55 at some point, and now the camera has stopped recording. So let me get the camera out of here and see how long it actually recorded. And just to illustrate how warm it really is here, that even the tripod it's so hot I can't touch it or can't carry it touching the bare metal. It's so hot, so the camera is really hot. I can't really touch it. So it got really hot in here. And if you really like this video, please buy me a cup of coffee. There's a link down below. It would mean a lot to me, and it also helps me to make more of these videos for you. Now the camera has cooled down and I can touch it again. But back in the sauna, the camera and the tripod also, they were so hot it was really uncomfortable to touch them with bare hands. But now I'd like to see how long it actually recorded before it stopped because of overheating. Let's open the camera and let me turn on the power, and we can see it recorded just over 37 minutes in ambient temperature that was about 50 degrees, which I think is not too bad. I mean, there are certainly places on this planet where the ambient temperature can be 50 degrees or even more, but it's not the most common ambient temperature anywhere, and it's certainly not the most common working temperature for any movie maker or video maker. I think both the GH5s and the G9 that is filming me right now did pretty well in this test. The 50 degree temperature in the sauna is really extreme, and I don't think there are many cameras that can run indefinitely in that kind of ambient temperature. I mean, this camera was so hot that it was uncomfortable to touch the surface of the outer surface of the camera. And in the ambient temperature of about 27 degrees centigrade, there was absolutely no overheating problem with either camera. Of course, this is just one test and it doesn't necessarily simulate any real live filming situation, but I still think it was a fun test, and the results have some kind of value. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.